Hey coaches, Matt Lasker here. Wanted to get in today before the season started and do a quick start guide to the air raid and of course our player book system. Everything you need to know to make sure you are hitting the ground running when camp starts in the next week or two, coming up right after this. All right, so let's get going. You know, I'm not into a bunch of fluff. I will say, first and foremost, as always, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video if my videos ever are helpful for you as a coach or helping other coaches. Please like it so more people can subscribe and see it. But otherwise, let's just dive in. Okay, so I want to make sure that you guys, as you hit camp, have what you need. I know I have a lot of videos, and there's a whole course around not only quarterback play but the air raid. But here are a few key points that I'm going to make sure that you know that you can step on day one and be ready to go. Okay, so first things first. People ask all the time, how do you become a great coach? Guys, yes, there are some people that are just gifted at drawing up plays and calling plays and have the intuitive factor. Those are the one percenters. They're probably OCs in the NFL. 99% of us can get better as coaches just being organized. So we're always going to start with practice. And I'm going to put up on the screen right now our practice plan. Okay, so we're going to base this practice plan I'm about to show you on what offense I use. Now, you can use it for yours. I would suggest, as always, a small playbook. We literally have, you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 passing plays. We have 3 types of screens, and you don't see on the screen is our 3 types of runs. I have GT counter, jet, and draw. You can clearly pick 3 of your own, but again, between 4 passing plays, 3 running plays, and really I only run 1 running play to be quite honest. So that's 7, and then 3 types of screens. That's really only 10 plays for our entire playbook. Obviously, we run them left and right, but we have a core group of formations. But the point being, you do not need 87 plays in your playbook. All you need is plays that you can master. I'd say under 12, and you're in good shape. As long as you have under 12 plays in your arsenal, you can go to work and be confident that your team can out execute everyone because you're going to be masters after I show you how to implement this. Okay, so I'm going to take that off the screen. Wanted to make sure you saw what we were basing this practice plan off of. But as you can see here, now that we have our plays, okay, so I'm going to show you real quick our plays here so you can see what it looks like. And I'm sorry, I'm going to put draw here. So our 4 passing plays, our screen game, and our draw. Okay, so 3-day install. How this works is we usually have 3 days of camp to work with. We usually have 3 days of camp to work with, correct? Okay, so on the first, and as an offensive coach, I have 3 out of the 5 days. Okay, so sorry, let me rewind. We typically have 3 weeks of camp, 5 days a week. And I dedicate 3 of those days, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, to offense, period. And then those other 2 days are defensive days. So on the Monday, the first Monday of camp, even though we're probably not in pads, we are still installing. We only mess with 1 formation, our 2x2 formation. Now that is ace is our tight end attached, and open is our tight end kind of standing up as a slot. But we only focus on 1 run game play. Counter is my number 1 run game, and that's what we run the most. I'm going to focus on 4 verticals because I love kind of putting that in first. And then I'm going to focus on my bubble screen, Larry and Roger. And so that day, all of our practice will be centered. The linemen will be working counter. The receivers will be working verticals. And the receivers and quarterbacks should be working verticals and this bubble screen when it comes time to that. Now the next Monday, the next week, we're going to focus on those same 3 concepts, okay? But we're going to add in our 3x1 sets to that. And the next Monday after that, we're going to add in another formation, but focus on those 3 concepts. And you can see on Wednesday, we're going to focus on 3 different concepts. And on Friday, we're going to focus on 3 different concepts. So week after week, we are getting our reps in, and we are repping it to death very systematically. Okay. Now I do have a whole video on this, so I'll put I'll put the link in the notes if you want to go deeper with this, but I want to just make sure that you guys see there's templates in our youth passing system for all this, our air raid systems for all of this. We have a template of what practice should look like. As you can see, our linemen are kind of working separately than everybody else. We love it that way so they can just be great. And we even plugged in here for you in camp the matching our 3-day install. Here's what practice looks like for our 3-day install. Okay, so not to get too deep into that, I wanted to just start there because people always ask, how do you become a better coach? And number one, guys, that right there. Have a plan, have somebody that's going to blow the whistle at the top of each of those. Have somebody that's going to blow the whistle at the top of each of these, periods to keep you on track. Assign that to somebody specifically. And if you are organized in practice and you are hitting your marks, guys, it will do wonders for your team and for your execution. Okay. So now let's get to the everyday drills. Okay. And if you're an air raid team, or we talk a lot about wing raid this off season, but if you are going to throw, there's a couple everyday drills that you absolutely need to do. Okay. So as a lot of you have seen in our youth passing system, we have a lot of everyday drills that are very air raid specific, starting with, and I'm going to put up this card. Part of our air raid system are these cards you get to have that we give to you that describe these air raid specific drills. Okay, so this one, we call it the perfect drill. Some people call it settle a noose. And basically you'll see, actually this is every 5 yards, sorry. So we have it 10 yards apart. Kids are running to the middle. Kids are running in between these linebackers, we'll call it, trying to find grass, stepping to the quarterback, catching the ball, and turning upfield. So this drill, this perfect drill, and I don't know if I can blow this up much on your screen. Okay, so we are on these drill cards, so you have them at practice. Your receiver coach will see exactly all the things that they are supposed to be focused on. You can see here the stance and start, no false step, sinking hips, stepping to the quarterback, flashing hands. This one drill that we warm up with every day, and that I would suggest you get in every day, is something that is so necessary for receivers. Okay. And then on the top of the card, you can see exactly what the quarterback coach should be working on with these quarterbacks. Okay, so quarterback snapping the ball, warming up his feet, throwing to shoulders, and I'll show you all of that here in a second. Okay, so that's the number one drill that we would suggest you have and you do every single day. I'm going to show a quick clip of us doing it so you can kind of see it in action. Here we go. All right, this is us in Levi Stadium. I luckily got a chance to do it in there. So you can see we have the cones 10 yards apart. They're sinking their hips. They're stepping to the quarterback, catching the ball, and making a tight turn. Okay, so a couple things that we want to make sure with this drill that I just want to make sure that we call out. Okay, so this is a very much the first thing that we're doing every day. If you don't have time to do it, instead of stretching, a lot of us do it instead of stretching, then I would get your leaders, maybe your quarterbacks and a couple of good receivers to start doing it before practice, when people are just kind of sitting around drinking water. This is necessary. And very worst case, you can do this during one-on-one indie for receivers. It's that important. We literally talk about this drill while we are going through the rest of our practice, how the receivers are stepping the quarterback, flashing their hands, finding open grass. Quarterbacks are finding the proper shoulders to throw it to away from the defenders. It's that important. Okay. So whether you do it before practice for as a kind of a warm up before practice, we do it literally instead of stretching as a what, and then they stretch in the lines while they're doing it. Or you can do it in receiver drills, guys. You have to do this drill. You just have to. It is that vital to making sure that your receivers are getting the reps at sinking their hips, stepping the quarterback, flashing their hands, and hopefully catching it in the proper spot, guys. As the quarterbacks start to get better, we want them throwing. So this cone out here, these cones, let's just think of them as linebackers. So if the receiver settles close to this cone, we want the quarterback to throw it to this shoulder. Again, this is 25%. So the quarterbacks are just warming up their legs, warming up their arms, but they can still nice and easy throw it to a shoulder. Okay. If the receiver stops on this side of the center line, the quarterback should be throwing it to the other shoulder. Okay. So that is number one, settle and noose. A lot of people used to call it, now we call it perfect drill, because the receivers, it's about perfect stance, perfect start, perfect technique. Quarterbacks, exactly the same, 25% speed, okay? And then the next drill is what everybody else knows as easy ups. We call it pat and go. The receivers are practicing their release move. The quarterbacks are just trying to throw it over the outside shoulder, dropping it over the outside shoulder, just like you see here. We got the receiver just jogging, practicing, tracking it over his head. Coaching point is to look up at the ball over his outside shoulder and bring it in. That's textbook. That's all we want all day long. That's all we need to do for the pat and go drill. Okay. So we've talked about that a million times. Again, this is Levi Stadium. Fun opportunity to do it there. We've talked about that a million times in my videos. That's not where I want to go here. Okay. Where I want to take this conversation is the everyday drills. People ask, okay, well, how do you make sure that they know how to find grass? Okay. How do we drill that in their head? Because I'll tell you why corner is my favorite play. And that corner shot is great, but that snag coming below it is unguardable at every level. But if you can do it at middle school and below, that is so advanced, there's no stopping you. Okay. And then with our 4 verticals play, if there's 2 high safeties, we convert those to digs. So it's the same thing. We got receivers practicing to find grass every single play. Okay. And if they can do that, if you can get your quarterbacks and receivers on the same page with that, guys, you're unstoppable. Okay. So here's a way that we do every day. That we find a way every day to practice getting our quarterbacks and receivers on the same page every single time. Okay. And so after we do perfect drill, where they go back and forth, we do that for about 10 minutes. Then we go to pat and go, and we're just doing the lobs over the outside shoulder. And I'll tell you guys, if you're a younger team, we talk about this a lot. Have them start on the hashes, and so the quarterbacks can see if they can throw over the outside shoulder to a receiver running go routes from the hash. If they can, if we're trying to find how far outside to put our receivers for you younger guys, we just start at the hash. Can the quarterback take one step and get it up? Great. Okay, we're going to move him out a little bit. We're going to take one step and throw it out a couple times. If it's easy and he's not straining to throw it out there over his outside shoulder, we'll move him out. And we'll keep moving them out until the quarterback has a hard time taking one step. We're not taking a big rabbit step or a big jump. If he should just step one step back and just lob it over the outside shoulder, we want to put the receiver outside far enough outside to where we can threaten a deep shot. But as soon as that quarterback's straining to get the ball out there, you've gone far enough. Okay. So after we do perfect drill, and then we start doing pat and go, and we're almost warmed up, we move on to our snags. Okay. This is still for us how we're warming up every day. This is for us. We start the day with a perfect drill, 10 minutes. Then we do pat and go. And then as a part of Pat and Go, we kind of go through our routes. Some people call it a route tree, an air raid. We don't really call it that, but whatever you want to call it. Okay, so here we go. We still are in our Pat and Go lines, but you can see here, this is a coach playing this overhang defender. And we are coaching. This is a 10-year-olds that we had last year in 7-on-7. We're coaching them to run their slant and sit, call it a snag, but it's really a slant and sit. And based on what this coach is doing, they are practicing. Their rules are they're aiming for the back heels of the linebacker so they know to get behind him so he can't see where they are and make a play on the ball. If he stays still or stays stagnant, they're going to find open grass in between the corner and the linebacker. If he moves out to the flats, they're going to get behind him and around and sit in open grass. And let's just see. I haven't curated these at all. This is just me taking video practice, okay?
You go behind him, correct?
Turn off this audio.
Turn and go, turn and go.
All right, so here's another rep. The next kid should be ready. That's a big coaching point for us. Slant, sit. So the coach sits there. We make it real easy initially for the kids to really understand this point, especially when we're first starting off with a group of new kids. We want to make it real obvious. So now the coach is going there. The kid learns that he's supposed to stop, flash his hands, and we always refer, okay, this is just like perfect drill. You go ahead and flash your hands and step to the quarterback. All right, now here's us. If you can hear us in the background talking about having nice sharp cuts, you're going to hear that, but this is early in our 7-on-7 group with a group of 10-year-olds we've never had before. So again, we're learning, they're learning, we're teaching, we're kind of seeing where their threshold is on what they can learn at this age. Okay, now we're mixing it up. Now in a perfect world, we want as soon as this linebacker crosses the face of this receiver, we want him flashing his hands right there, because theoretically that linebacker is actually heading to the flats. He's actually heading to the flats. There you see a coach correcting it. If he backs up, we're just going to sit in that grass out there. If the coach is heading to the flats, we want that receiver to sit and find that grass before he gets too far to the other side. There we go. It's a nice play. Okay, so this is just a very easy way while we're warming up to get these kids understanding the snag and the relationship to that player. Okay, now we do the same things with digs. The only difference with the dig is that they are coming from the slot. For us, it's coming from the slot. And let me see if I can get the playbook up so I can show you. Okay, I don't have the playbook up, so apologies. Well, maybe I do. Get the playbook up. So on the snags, it's the same exact drill. We just bring the receivers in. Sorry, let me just get verts up here for you so you can see it. So it's the exact same thing. We are just having these as coaches, this Will and the Sam as coaches. You know, we are widening out and the receivers are finding grass and the quarterbacks are hitting them. Okay, so it's the same exact thing. I don't have that on film for you guys, but we're basically having the kids responding to the coach's actions. Okay, all right. So I can't stress that enough. How important not only Pat and Go, settle and noose, and the perfect drill are to start every single day. Every day, I would do it, guys. Every day, whether it's before practice in Indy, or what we do is instead of stretching, we have them stretch while they're in their lines waiting for their turn. Okay. All right. Now, if there was one, I keep getting asked, hey, what is a drill I can do for every single play? So here's the one drill that I would do to rule them all. This is a half field drill. And I would do this drill every day in camp. If I could, I would do it through the whole season. It is seriously the most effective way. Now, let's make sure I have this on the screen for you nice and big. It is the most effective way to teach our 3 plays. Okay, and so let's just review real quick for us. I would suggest these 3 plays to every youth, middle school. Gosh, I would suggest it to everybody, high school, whoever, because these 3 plays are all attacking the same 3 pieces of grass, as you can remember. No matter what, they have the same rules. We're going to look at this deep third piece of grass. We're going to ask our quarterbacks, are you open by alignment? And if there's nobody back there, we're going to say yes. And whether it's this go shot, this go route on the fade out, or the stick, or it's this corner, we're going to look at throwing that corner initially, kind of based on what this corner back is doing. And then if that's not open after the snap of the ball, we're going to come down and read this apex defender. Okay. So with this look, since we read these 3 plays the same exact way, pre-snap and post-snap, pre-snap looking at the deep third, post-snap looking at this corner, see his reaction, and then going to the apex defender, this drill I'm going to show you will give the quarterback the pre-snap identification that he's looking for. He's going to be looking at the corner and then the apex. So every single play, he can kind of check and see pre-snap what he should be thinking about. And we'll go through that in a second here. And then post-snap, he'll see the movement and be able to make decisions. And by the time he gets to the game, then it's second nature, okay? All right. So here's the drill. It is a half field drill, okay? So I'm coaching this side of the field. If you can imagine me kind of sitting behind this quarterback and these 3 receivers here. And then I've got my quarterback coach on this side, coaching this side of the field. He's got 3 receivers over here. Initially, the way I would suggest doing it is having coaches playing the defense, okay? Just so, when kids are playing, they have a hard time not competing for the ball, which is fine. At some point, we'll let them compete. But for this drill, we just want to find success. And what we want to get is the quarterbacks and receivers really understanding their relationship and finding some success, okay? So again, this side is only working this side of the field. We have a quarterback, or we have a coach lining up at corner. We have a coach lining up at linebacker, and we have a coach lining up at safety, okay? And so the quarterback, again, on our 3 plays, we're going to call a play. So I'm going to get back here with the quarterback and say, okay, that we're going to call fade out, which is here's our 3-by-1 fade out. And his read is, as you can see up here, deep third and the apex, okay? So he's going to ask himself right now, he's going to see pre-snap. This cornerback is way off. He's 7 yards or more off. And he's asking himself, is my first read open by alignment? And his first read is his deep third. And so he's going to tell himself no. And he's going to practice this because this is one of our favorite plays. And so when he sees that, he's going to know, okay, I probably can't throw this, but post-snap, I'm going to snap it. I'm going to watch this corner. And if he stays back there, I'm going to immediately come down to this linebacker and make my decision really quickly. Okay, great. The other side of the field is doing the exact same thing. They can both see that there's only one safety here, and that's the look they're getting. Okay. Now, obviously, if he looks at the cornerback post snap and the kid flies down, the kid's going to get the quarterback's going to get a chance to practice getting fooled and then throwing the ball over the top because the guy is vacating that open space. Okay. So we coaches know that was a cover 3 look. We're not teaching that to our kids anymore. We don't feel the need to. We just want them to know where that cornerback is pre-snap and make a decision. So the next look that will happen on the next play, or as you mix it up as a coach, the quarterback, you're looking over there. This is still fade out. You're looking over. Now there's a cornerback way down, and now you guys looks like they might be in man coverage. So in this situation, the quarterback asks himself, is our first read open by alignment? By alignment, this space we're trying to throw to way up here is open. So he's going to know if this receiver gets a clean release, I'm throwing this. This is just pat and go that we start the day with every single day. Okay. And he knows he can throw it out here over his outside shoulder, and he's ready to attack this. He's excited to attack this cover one look. If not, he could obviously come down here and see which of these matchups is better. But again, he's getting the look pre-snap of what to expect, and then thinking through, okay, if he's close, I'm going to throw it over the top. If he's backed off far, I'm probably going to come down to this apex defender, but I got to look at both things. But he's getting that repetition, and we're doing it both sides, rapid fire, as many quarterbacks as you have lined up behind, ready to go, as many receivers as you have lined up, ready to go, just to jump in rep after rep after rep. And then the third look we're going to go through is it. So the first look I kind of showed you is what coaches will call cover 3. The second look was kind of cover 1. And here's kind of our cover 2. If you guys see cover 2, this is another thing they need to practice against fade out or stick. It's basically the same thing. If that cornerback's sitting at 2 yards, or at 5 yards, and his body stays facing forward as we get this outside release, we encourage our quarterbacks to take a hole shot. Okay, nice hard on a line. We practice this in this drill. This is a great way to practice hole shots. Okay, we'll never get mad if a kid doesn't want to take a hole shot. That's a hard play. So then if he feels uncomfortable at all, like that cornerback sinks, he'll just come down to the outside overhang defender. Real simple, guys. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. These are coaches. You can tell the coaches cover 2, cover 3, cover 1 from behind the quarterback, so they don't know. But again, they are identifying what this cornerback is doing pre-snap and then post-snap, and they're just repping this out. This is our 3 main plays that we call. We call verts as well, but out of corner, this is another one where we can practice. Okay, while you feel nervous in corner because there's a safety over here and a corner that's kind of sagging against cover 2. That's actually the look we want. So again, pre-snap, if I'm calling corner, this is a beautiful look for me, but this is something that doesn't come naturally until you can do these half-field drills and just rep the heck out of it over and over and over and over, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that I talked about that drill, because while there might be a specific drill for every single route that we have, guys, for our 3 core plays, and I would say if you are a youth team, you need to have these 3 core plays. You don't need to get more creative than these 3 core plays for passing. If you're a youth team, it's completely unnecessary to try to go crazy with mesh or cross or anything unnecessary, guys. As you get older, you can do that. This is more than enough right here for you to light people up, plus some screen games, plus 3 really good running plays. Really, I only have 1 or 2 running plays. You can go to work and really do some damage and put up points, okay? And don't forget, we have also created a way for you to rep this out virtually for your quarterbacks, okay? So again, I created a way on their phones. They can just download this video game and get virtual rep after virtual rep. They're seeing the cornerback depth. They're seeing the overhang defenders. They're making choices based on this corner. See, that's cover 2, and they wanted to throw the stick. And they're seeing the overhang defender, who he's choosing. He's choosing to go to the flat, so he's going to throw that snag underneath. So again, it's not some great VR thing where it's $1 billion. This is on their phones, and they can just practice identifying the corner, identifying the apex, and making the right choice. And you can see detailed reports afterward to show you if they have been making the right choice. But again, you only have limited time on the field, especially during camp. This is another way that we are trying to help you get your quarterbacks ready, so when game time comes, there's no mistakes. Well, there's few mistakes, and he is making the right decision, guys. I'm going to say it for the last time. Well, probably not for the last time, but guys, I don't care. You should not be caring about if someone can throw further than another kid. If you have 2 quarterbacks, It's about decision making. It's about understanding what you're trying to do. It's not about showboating and who can throw it as far as he can. It's about, can he make a simple read under pressure? Is a deep third open? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to come down to this apex and make the right decision and just keep the ball moving and keep things moving forward. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Wanted to get that quick start guide out. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to go any deeper on any of these things. Happy to do it. Good luck in camp, guys. If you want me to make more videos through camp about anything in particular, let me know and we'll get it going. Thanks for joining, and like and subscribe.